Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about the Sanctuary Sacrifice Paladin. This is a build I played on HCSSF in Season 11. I think it's a very strong build. It's a very safe build as well, and the most important thing about it is that it's the cheapest sacrifice build out there. It's still just as potent as the other sacrifice builds, but it's a lot cheaper to get started because the gear that it uses and the charms that it uses are just a lot cheaper. With that said, this is a mini guide or a showcase coming to you from the Season 12 closed beta. With what that means is that it does not have any slams, so take that in mind. Some things might be lacking or the build could be a lot stronger. Specifically, this build relies on plus skill slams, so they're definitely missing. The sockets that you get in the closed beta don't do a lot for it. So just keep all these things in mind when watching. This build is a lot stronger than it looks, but we'll do our best to showcase the idea behind the build, how you build it, and what you kind of want when you play it. Okay, let's start talking about the skills, the attributes, the gear, and the mercenary. So for the skills, you want to start by having your sacrifice and joust at level 30 and 25. Hello everyone, this is Editor Juxt here. The final patch notes for Season 12 were dropped after the closed beta and open beta were already over, so I already finished recording all of my guides, but I wanted to make sure I include this because this is important. The current max range for sacrifice, according to the final patch notes, is level 24 and not 30, not 40, not 35. I know there's been a lot of changes and there was a lot of uncertainty. It reaches currently, according to the final patch notes, dropping exactly 20 hours before the actual season starts. They're going to drop the maximum to 24, so you only need level 24, which is an insane buff for sacrifice. Absolutely bonkers, especially for the builds that naturally get a lot of plus skills. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Can't wait to try this for myself. Generally speaking, will be a buff to all the native aura skills over the non-native ones. Just keep that in mind. And yeah, just I guess I'll let you go back to the video, and hopefully you can keep that context in mind while watching it. To get the minimum cooldown on Joust and to get the maximum range on Sacrifice, make sure you test after you use your battle command to get the +1 skills, so you don't over-invest in any of these. This build is very hungry for skill points, so any plus skills you get is more damage. So you want to save your skill points as much as you can. And in the live version, once you get all the plus skill slams, this build will get even stronger and significantly stronger. Afterwards, you want to make sure you max your Sanctuary aura, and then you have 3 synergies for it, being Might, Blessed Aim, and Holy Sword. I start with Blessed Aim because it also reduces target defense. Then you can do Might, and lastly, Holy Sword. Naturally gives you charge as well, which you do want for some movement. Nothing in the defensive skill tree, you do not need it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Right now we don't have all of our synergies maxed, mostly because we're missing plus skill slams, but it is possible on the live version. I'm at level 97 and I'm missing 3 skill quests, so kind of like level 94 in terms of amount of skill points. You can pretty much max it at around level 94 to 95 if you have the relevant plus skill slams. For the attributes, you want to have enough strength to wear your gear, and you want to have dexterity to have max block. Max block is very important, of course. Check after you use your Holy Shield setup, and you'll get quite a bit of defense from it. You want to have max block. This will keep your build safe. It's part of the safety of this build. And we can continue to the gear. On the gear, I'm using the Redeemer. This is a weapon you're not going to see often. You want it with a plus skill slam attached to it. You can also use Azarath. Both are strong weapons. I've tested both. On my SSF, I used Azarath because that's what I had, but Redeemer, in my opinion, is the best for it. It gives +2 to Paladin skills and 4 to Sanctuary aura, which is amazing. It also gives you access to redemption for people who like to do redemption swaps, to just have redemption like on a different skill and just swap to it real quick to have extra regen. This build doesn't really need it, but it's definitely very nice to have, in my opinion. On the shield, we're using an Alma Negra. And remember, there are no facets for magic, so you can put runes to fix your res. You can put bear runes. You can put all res IS jewels to get your IS breakpoints. And we'll talk about the IS breakpoints because you're using a specific merc to solve them, and I'll show that in a moment. But yeah, you can put whatever you want pretty much in them. You can put ist runes if you don't need anything else, or just more survivability. There's a lot of room for that. On the helm, we're using a Shaco. You want a +3 skill Shaco, or you can use other helms that give +2 skills if you'd like. You can use Andes if you want, but it messes up your resistances in terms of the fire res. So I like to use Shaco. It also gives MF, and who doesn't like MF? This build can stack up quite a bit of MF. If you'd like, you can run Shaco and an Enigma to get a lot of MF, and it is definitely fine, but that's not what we're going to do here. Obviously, as that's not what I have on. I have an Arcanes. The reason I use Arcanes is both for FHR. You want to have 48 on this build. That's the normal for Sacrifice build, and you want to have plus skill slams on it. The bears are just because I like to put bears in my empty sockets if I have nothing to do. You don't really need it. If you want to lose some damage for more survivability, when I run this in HC, I run it with a Leviathan to increase my defense as much as possible. You can run a Shaft Stop as well. Running Carapace is good for defense as well. If you have one plus skills Carapace, you just always want a plus skill slam to whatever these may be. Because it really does help your damage quite a lot. Every plus skill is a lot for you. It's not something to underestimate. I'm using a Rex for the plus skills. Again, can be swapped for a Verdungos, for a String of Ears, for a Sigurd Staunch, like whatever helps your survivability if you feel like you need it. Personally, I don't need it. I think this build is safe enough without it. So we're using Arcanes and a Rex to get as much plus skills as we can. We're using Drax for the life of the each kill. This is normally the best for this build. This is pretty much all the life of the each kill that you will need. You don't need a lot more than that. You can get more, obviously. It's not too hard because your sockets are pretty flexible. So if you want to get 14 or 15, 18, any more than 18 is usually overkill for this build. So again, you can do that. This can be slammed with IAS to help your IAS breakpoints eventually. So also check that out if you wish. For the boots, we're using Silkweave. This gives you the mana after each kill that you need. We also get 2 mana after each kill from, I think it's from a jewel, I want to say. But I can't find the 2 mana after each kill that we're getting. Oh no, I'll show what it is from, I think, in a moment. Wait, what? I'm actually really lost. I forgot. Oh, I put a tier rune here. I forgot this. I thought I put a jewel somewhere. I guess I was just kind of lazy with my socketing here. So this gives you enough mana after each kill. You don't need more than 5 for this build. But I guess I just wanted 2 runes here to match. I thought for a moment I put points in meditation to get more mana after each kill, but I used that for a different build. Anyway, so we're using skill rings to up our damage. Skill rings are what you want on this build. And we're using a Mars to fix to fix our resistances and plus skills. Normally you'll have a 2 to Paladin skills with all resistance on it, and a Blood Amulet craft, so it also gains life after each kill. That's like the normal setup. Mars in the beta is a lot easier to set up, so that's what we're running. In terms of making this build more budget, you could lose the skill rings, even lose the arcanes, and just run like a normal Redeemer with an Alma Negra, or with just like a normal shield that you find with a lot of res. Shaco and the rest of the items are not too expensive, and you can still run tier 1s very easily with cheap gear. You don't need anything fancy to make this build look very good in tier 1s, and you can start farming your wolf this way and then build up to the other items that you want. On the swap, we have a CTA with Holy Shield on it, just to buff our Holy Shield even more. You already have a point in Holy Shield, so this is not a must for this build, but it is definitely nice to have the extra. On the offhand, we have a Herald of Zakarum to buff both our CTA, our bow, and our battle command, but also to buff our Holy Shield. So again, you want to make sure you bow yourself with this side and use the Holy Shield here to get more defense. You gotta phase it here, lose 1k defense. No real reason to do that, so do it like this. Again, max chance to block. For the charms, we're using LCs for magic, and I'm using mostly faster run walk. I'm using 1 FHR one, I believe, to get the 48 FHR breakpoint, and I'm using 1 all res small charm, torch, and Annie. Plus skill slam, of course, is what you're looking for maximum damage, which is the only thing you want to max on this build. For the merc, let me get one moment all the gear for the merc, because I think I left it in the stash. Okay, we went outside to showcase the awesome merc. I left the gear on another character, so I just went a way to get it. Either way, we are using a Beast Merc. The Beast Merc will help us get our final breakpoint for our IAS. We'll need 54 IAS total. The base on this has no IAS, so you can get it with just 2 shells and an IAS jewel, but you can get the IAS off weapon as well because you want a plus skill slam on this, so just keep that in mind. Ideally, you have 2 shells inside or 2 IAS old res jewels or whatever mix you want, but you do need a total of 54 IAS on this build, so that's what you kind of want. Beast Merc paired with Exile and Innocence to keep you safe when you're telestomping. Ferocity to make sure he tanks some of the aggro for you. Sigurd Staunch to give him a lot more defense. Look at this amount of defense, 20k almost. You can roll a little bit higher and get him to 20k actually, or have a little bit better bases. You can make it there. Draxler just so he has enough strength to wear some of this gear, and Tancreds for 10 PDR. He is very tanky in his current state. I didn't use like a very good base for the Exile. I could have made a better Exile for him, so he has like 79 all res instead. That would have been probably better overall, but I was being a little bit lazy with it, so I guess it's a little bit my fault on the Exile. But hopefully he survives and doesn't die. Normally he doesn't die. I didn't really have issues with him dying. Either way, we're gonna hop into a map to demonstrate the power of this build. Now I'm gonna hop into the next game. We'll do a full clear and then end the video. So let's go. Again, Epo, use your shield, and I use charge to move a little bit, and the rest is just like jousting. As you can see, you could use whenever you don't see anything to teleport to, you can use a little bit of charging, and as you can see, the damage is pretty insane. If you are using the Azarath version of this, you don't need Beast. You actually need a lot less IS on Azarath, so you can use things that are even safer. You can give him a Doom, for example. You can give him a Stormlash to do more damage. There's a lot of different options. It's just kind of up to you to figure out what you like the most, whether you need more survivability, whether you need more damage. It's kind of up to you. Wow, there's nothing to teleport to. Playing without slams on maps makes the map sometimes seem so empty. But it is how it is. Again, I played this build in Season 11 with my SSF-HC character. I had no problems. Obviously, I didn't die at all, and I farmed at an insanely high pace. You can with like the right gear, of course, you can get this to like 5-minute clean maps, which is really nice. Again, this is one of those builds that in the beta looks a lot worse than it does on the live version, mostly due to the lack of slams. There you can see the... Is there a reason why he's not teleporting? Mostly due to the lack of plus skill slams, which are very important. You can kill the boss if you like to. That's kind of like your choice kind of thing. I personally like to ignore her. I don't like killing this boss unless I completely destroy her very fast. Just because she runs and it feels like a waste of time chasing her. It's not like the loot from her is that important to me. Again, very tanky targets. I think I may have taken like a max life map. But with max life still, the explosions absolutely crack everything near them. Again, ignoring events for the sake of testing is what I normally do to keep everything consistent, because I don't want one map to be affected by killing events and the other not to be affected. And your joust pretty much is always like on cooldown if possible. Right? You don't want your joust off cooldown. It gives you movement speed and it gives you free attacks pretty much. Boom, boom, boom. sacrifice in my room. Hope I didn't get this stuck in somebody's head right now. That was accidental, not intentional. And again, the cheapest and one of the safer sacrifice variants. It's probably the one that's most flexible on its gear because you're just looking for stuff with plus skills on them for the most part. I will give a shout out to the Vortex Shield that was introduced in season 11 called Skywarden. It gives +2 to offensive aura, so it buffs your Sanctuary skill. These guys didn't die. So it buffs your Sanctuary skill, which is very, very nice. Just making sure I'm killing everything here. We're slightly over the 5-minute mark. Again, this is one of those builds that really gets much stronger once you get the plus skill slams. All the facets and things like that are not really relevant to it. Slightly over. You guys will forgive me. We did have a lot of clean 5 minutes already during the testing. Yeah, that is the map. 16 max life, so I guess that's also slowing us down a little bit. Yeah, Skywarden, also a really nice shield. I personally prefer the mobility that Alma Negra gives, but this will give you more damage. So if you feel like you're jousting and you have it off cooldown and you don't need it yet, maybe you can think of switching to Skywarden to do a little bit more damage. Definitely a valid option. With that said, this is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed or learned something from it. And if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel because it really helps a lot. And yeah, with that said, I hope I'll see you on the next stream or the next video. Have a good whatever you're having, and till the next time, bye bye bye.